Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
England's worst failing schools were singled out today for not making a significant improvement for more than 10 years. In her first report as Chief Inspector of Schools, Amanda Spielman said they focus too much on their pupils' deprivation instead of what can be done to help. More than 120 primary and secondary schools have not been rated good or better since 2005. Here's our national editor, Allegra Stratton.
You wouldn't know it from the look of these eager pupils, but this school has had bad grades. Oak Tree in Stockton today, just one of the schools that has received damning assessments from Ofsted over the years.
We're going to go back over these challenge cards. Okay.
In March, Ofsted found children were not challenged at this school. The teaching of grammar and spelling was not accurate and attendance rates were low. Now it has a new head and she's certain she'll turn it around.
This school was in special measures for a long time, but we took over and we're improving life chances for those children now. We see the potential in these schools and already we're moving at a rapid pace of school improvement.
Parents at home time today were protective of the school.
The teachers are all really nice and stuff, so nothing to be worried about. I
don't understand what Ofsted have been talking about, to be honest, because I'd like to come on one of them with them and have a look around myself and see what they're seeing. Like I say, my kids love it and they've had no problems.
The report revealed that out of the 21,000 schools in England, hundreds are consistently underperforming. 700 have been rated below par in their last 2 inspections, but there is a hard core that is singled out. 124 haven't improved in the 12 years since 2005. These schools are likely to be in areas with a high proportion of disadvantaged children. There's a high turnover of staff and heads and teachers face burnout. The areas with the highest number of failing schools were Derbyshire and Northamptonshire. There's 9 in both places, and 5 in Leeds and 6 in Kent. St Peter's in Huntingdon, Cambridgeshire was failing but turned things around. The new Chief Inspector of Schools, Amanda Spielman, chose it to launch her report to show that pupils can perform well, even where circumstances are challenging. Teachers, she said, must stop disadvantage one-upmanship.
What I'm trying to say coming out of this report is that we should really be focusing on what does it take actually to make things change in the classroom. Not just challenge and support from outside, but change what is happening in those classrooms.
Some failing schools have had as many as 4 inspections over the last decade, but they came to nothing. Today, the message is loud and clear. This new inspector of schools has to make her inspections work better for the next generation of pupils.
So, Allegra, just how big a challenge do these schools face then?
It's a huge challenge, particularly because today the Chief Inspector of Schools has been out and about talking to journalists like myself and saying, in her view, these schools need resources, by which she means more cash. Well, you and I both know there just isn't more cash for public services, so that is difficult. It's a difficult picture in England, it's a difficult picture around the country. We know that in Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon is in a lot of trouble for schools not performing particularly well there. Wales, things are slightly better. They have slightly fewer of their schools in their red zone, which is poorly performing.
All right, Allegra Stratton, thank you very much for that. Well, those are just some of the extraordinary challenges facing schools in England. A special report by ITV News now has revealed how some are having to feed the very poorest parents, wash their children's clothes and even charge phones. One family doctor said he's seeing a rise in cases of rickets among children. Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn today described the findings as disgraceful. Dan Hewitt went to 2 schools in Morecambe and Lancashire where teachers say even parents who are working are struggling to cope.
Just this week, we've given out shoes, we've given out coats. We have parents coming in to charge up their phones because they haven't got the electricity to charge up the phone. That's poverty.
Jill Burns is a support worker at West End Primary School in Morecambe. While the teachers teach, it's Jill's job to ensure the children are ready to learn. And first, that means making sure they are fed.
Toast, please. Just one size?
Breakfast Club here serves up 10p toast and 10p cereal. But not everyone can afford to pay.
They'll maybe hide in the playground And as soon as I walk in through the playground, I shout, "Good morning, have you had your breakfast?" "No, I haven't got any money." "It's okay, come on."
1 in 4 children in Morecambe is estimated to be growing up in poverty, and increasingly, schools are the front line. Across town from West End at Morecambe Bay Primary, they're fighting the same battle.
So this is the laundry room if the family haven't got a washing machine working at home, or if they've not got enough money to pay for the meter.
How regularly are you washing kids' clothes?
Pretty much daily.
We've had parents that have passed out in the school hall just through doing without meals themselves. We've helped them to join in with the breakfasts that there are available within school.
The parents?
We've taken them as well to food banks.
Both schools say they've seen a noticeable rise in the number of children of working parents struggling to cope. Parents like Valerie. She lives in a flat above the shop where she works with her 10-year-old son Michael. But her wages are low, her bills are rising, and they are barely getting by.
It's an awful situation to be in when you're sitting wondering if you're going to be able to provide food for your child. You wonder how you found yourself in that situation. What did I do wrong? He's also offered, when he's got money in his piggy bank, to give me money. He also offered to go and get a job.
In this doctor's surgery, the GP here is seriously concerned about the implications of children not eating properly.
Rickets is where it's a condition that you normally see in developing countries where the bones are not forming properly, and it's usually associated with poverty because children are malnourished.
And so you've seen examples in Morecambe of children coming in with rickets?
We are seeing things like rickets. We've seen rickets. We're seeing other conditions, probably quite common back in the Victorian times. We wouldn't expect to see this in a developed nation.
We asked these children in a class last week what they want. They don't come back with, "I want a mobile phone" or "I want an iPad." They came back with, "I want heat, and I want a roof over my head, and I want food, and I want somebody to love me."
And it's in the classrooms and the canteens of these schools where the fight against child poverty is being fought. Daniel Hewitt, ITV News, Morecambe.